So we're working on our 2014 Hemi-equipped Ram 1500 today, and you might notice that there's something missing, both of our tailpipes, and that's because we're talking about a very cool and very unique exhaust system. I'm referring to Magnaflow's Off-Road Pro Series single exhaust system in the very cool turn-down configuration. Now there's really no two ways to go about it, guys. If you're looking for the loudest possible system available for this truck, or any truck really, then this is the ticket. I'm going to give this one a very solid 5 out of 5 on my loudness meter. This is basically the next best thing to open headers, if you will. And I say that because the turn down configuration is dumping all that juicy volume directly underneath the cab and bed, so you're going to be hearing plenty of volume inside the cab. Now, as far as price is concerned, this system comes in at just over the $500 price point, and honestly, you're definitely getting what you pay for here. This setup is still made out of factory grade 409 stainless, and you're saving a little bit of cash because you're not investing in higher grade 304 stainless, and that's not a bad thing. 409 stainless is a factory choice because it's as affordable as possible, but it's going to protect that system from the elements for years to come, and that's going to be the case with the Magnaflow system. I would say it will easily last the life of your truck, even if you do take it off-road, and even if you do see a lot of snow or rain, so rust won't be a concern. And on the note of overall price, this is not the most affordable stainless steel setup that you can get. You can invest in another system that does include tailpipes, but honestly, you're not going to get the same level of volume as you will with this system, and obviously the more you invest in, the more difficult that install is going to be and the more time it will take. So this is definitely one of the most convenient installs that you can do on your truck. Now, you might have been watching some other exhaust videos, and you might have heard us referring to some other loud systems like the Borla ATAC or the Flowmaster Outlaws, and we've said in the past that those are the loudest systems you can buy, but honestly this one wins on a technicality, and again it's because of that turn down configuration. But you shouldn't worry, we actually just finished driving this thing around, and as you probably heard from our sound clips, there's surprisingly not a crazy amount of drone inside the cab. Now don't get me wrong, when you do press on the pedal you can basically have a screaming match with this system, but when you're not at wide open throttle you will be hearing all that thumping inside the cab, but it's nothing that's going to interrupt a conversation with your passengers. I actually own the Flowmaster Outlaws and I put them on my own V8 ride, and I would say that the amount of volume you're getting inside the cab with this setup is comparable to that one, and that's actually a good thing because all the other systems that get a 5 out of 5 on my loudness meter still dump outside the vehicle, typically near the bumpers. So even though this system dumps underneath the cab and bed, the interior noise is still comparable to other systems, and that's a good thing. And as far as the install is concerned, it's very simple because basically you're just throwing on a small extension pipe, the muffler itself, and then a really tiny exhaust tip to actually turn it down towards the ground. It gets a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on my difficulty meter, very straightforward, shouldn't take us more than 2 hours, and really most of the difficulty is going to come from you wrestling with your factory system if it has any rust or corrosion on it. So again, if you want the absolute loudest possible exhaust system for your truck, you want something that looks really clean because we're ditching all those tailpipes, then the Flowmaster Off-Road Pro Series single exhaust system is the one for you. And if you decide to stick with this one and pull the trigger on it, you can come back to this video. I'll show you guys just exactly what tools you need to get the job done, and I'll show you how easy it is to get this installed step by step. All right guys, to install your Magnaflow system, you'll need a drive ratchet with a 15mm deep socket. And optional but very helpful tools include an impact gun with an impact swivel socket, some spray lubricant, a pry bar, and a dead blow mallet. All right, so obviously before we install our new exhaust system, we have to remove our factory one. So we're going to start with removing our tailpipes. Our tailpipes are secured to our muffler assembly with 2 band clamps, and in order to loosen those band clamps, you will need a 15mm deep socket. It is a bit of a squeeze, so if you're not using a hand ratchet and you prefer power tools like me, it's very helpful to have a swivel socket. It makes it a lot easier. Once you've loosened both of those band clamps up, we're going to spray down both of our exhaust hangers, free them up, and get them out of those rubber isolators. Then we can remove the tailpipes as one piece. All right, now that our tailpipes are removed, we can remove the muffler. The muffler is secured using a band clamp, so you'll need that same deep socket, and again, helpful to have that impact swivel if you're using power tools. Once you've loosened that band clamp, it's just a matter of sliding the muffler off the mid pipe. It's helpful to have a pry bar to get some leverage, or you can use a dead blow mallet. And also keep in mind there are 2 more exhaust hangers on the muffler. Just spray down those rubber isolators and free them up like we did with the tailpipes. All right, so we have the factory exhaust removed, and honestly, guys, that was the hardest part of this whole job here. But before we throw the new system on, I wanted to put them next to each other just so you guys can get a cool comparison here and see just how crazy of a difference it is, right? Obviously, this system is tiny. I've never said this before, but the muffler is really only here in spirit, guys. This is pretty much a straight-through design. It's got a little bit of a perforated tube in there, a little bit of a chamber to just capture some of the sound, make it sound a little bit different from just an open header or open pipe, if you will, but that's basically it. And because it dumps underneath the truck, you don't gotta worry about tailpipes and resonators and hangers and all that other jazz. Now, as far as build quality is concerned, this is made out of factory-grade 409 stainless. That keeps the price down a little bit, which is again why it's one of the most affordable systems. You honestly don't need 304 stainless because, well, 409 will stand up just fine. This system is actually made out of 409 stainless. Our truck has plenty of miles on it, and we live here in the East Coast where it's humid, hot, wet, and we see all kinds of road salt from the snow we get, but our system has stood up just fine. We don't worry about pinhole leaks or excessive rust or anything like that, and that'll obviously be the case with the new Magnaflow system. So without further ado, we're gonna throw this guy in place. Super easy. We're just gonna throw the mid pipe onto our extension pipe there. We'll bolt down our muffler with the hangers lined up on those rubber isolators. Then we'll throw on our crazy tiny little exhaust tip, and we should be good to go. All right, when you go to throw your extension pipe on your mid pipe, you'll need this larger 3-inch clamp, and you can use that same 15mm deep socket to tighten it down. All right, to throw your muffler onto the mid pipe, you'll need one of those smaller clamps in the kit. And in order to get those exhaust hangers into those rubber isolators, it's helpful to spray those down again. All right, with our muffler secure, we can throw on our little turn down tip with our remaining clamp. So as you can see, bolting this system up only takes a couple of minutes. Just do yourself a favor, double check those clamps, make sure they're nice and tight, and that should wrap up the install. And that also wraps up my review. I'm Travis, thanks for watching. Keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.